right. This looks good. We'll just wait for this to pop up real quick. Hell yeah. Okay. Quality's good. Make sure everything else still looks good. Heck yeah. All right. So let us get into it. Today we are continuing with my tutorial hub refactor into Rust. So I am using Gemini to kind of help me because I don't know Rust. I know TypeScript, you know, I got a backend and front end web development, or I got a background, sorry, front end web development. So I'm using Gemini and it's learning, guided learning. Make sure that's turned on. Kind of interesting that it wasn't turned on already. But in its guided learning mode, which I really like, and if you haven't checked it out, guys, check it out. Gemini has a 1 month free trial, and I've just been using it to learn Rust, which is great. But so I did a little bit of work off camera, I think. I don't really remember. But essentially, I was able to figure out how to build this route, okay? And all it does is it's a get route at /user, actually /API/user, which you can see the fact that it's API in app. Yes, with our API routes right here. And so when you hit this route, it has this request URL, which is just hard coded to my profile because it's my blog, you know. So it's don't matter, don't need to be a variable. All right, and then we make a new request or request. I don't know how to say it yet. Request. You make a new client, okay, and then you have a response from the client, and then you're gonna say .get at the request URL to go ahead and chain that on, and then you set the header because for some reason GitHub needs this header, user agent request, okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and send it, and what that does is return a future, right? And a future is just kind of like a promise almost, but it doesn't actually run yet. It doesn't execute the code, okay? Like this get request doesn't fully happen until this next line where we have the await, okay? And then the await can return to us either a result or an error, all right? And so I figured out this nifty trick here where you can map the error, okay? To be honest, guys, I'm not 100% sure what the pipe underscore pipe does. I think it's just a way where you can like omit an argument or something like that, but there's no comma separating them, so it also doesn't seem like arguments. I don't really know. If you guys know, feel free to let me know. And then, but essentially, and then this question mark here is what makes like the match statement, from what I understand. Basically, this is like the shorthand version of it. The longhand version would have the match statements. Um, it's a little confusing. I don't know too much about it, so I won't say much about it. But then we turn it to JSON, okay? And doing that is asynchronous, so we have to await it again. And just like the JSON here, it returns a future. And then once we await it, it actually runs the future. And then we just map the error again, saying like if it fails, internal server error. Otherwise, it's okay. So then we use Rust because it has an implied return if you don't include a semicolon at the end of the line, which I think is really cool. But yes, so this okay statement, and then, well, let's start in the middle, because first what we do is we say we add the type, or I think this adds like the serialization and deserialization, if I'm not mistaken, of our response, which is a GitHub user, and then we simply wrap it in an okay to make it a result, because our return type is a result JSON GitHub user, which we have a result JSON GitHub user. And then I think this means it can also be a status. I'm not 100% sure. Oh no, that's just what the result can be, right? Because the result is either okay or like an error. And so that status would be these right here. Yeah, these statuses right here. All right, sick. So now our next step, if we're going to my tutorial hub, and we're gonna do the full backend first, get all the API routes running and returning data and all that. And then I'm gonna work on rewriting all of my Next.js components into Rust, aka Terra, which is the template engine for server-side rendering. This is incorrect. I only know that because I've actually made one of these routes before. It uses curly brackets now instead of this colon. And I guess that's like a somewhat recent change because Gemini doesn't know about it. But with that said, let's go ahead and start making our API route to return the contents of an entire repo. So we're going to start with the macro. And this can be a get as well. Yes, it is a get normally. And it's going to be slash repos slash curly bracket repo name. We'll do that. Repo name slash contents. And then we can go ahead and say this is a public async function, fn, and it is going to be, let's name it get underscore repo underscore contents. And it doesn't need to take in any arguments, I don't think, because we get it from the path. For now, let's just not designate a return type. We'll do that right now, though. And this is going to return a result again. A result, probably almost the exact same, just not a GitHub user. So with that said, I don't know what the shape of the data looks like yet, but we're gonna make it right here. Public struct, repo contents. And what I can actually do is just, I could go to, so I have like a working version of this application, right? So in theory, I could just hit the API route and like just console log it real quick and see what it looks like. Although this should know what it looks like as well, Gemini. Can you, wait, what is it asking here real quick? Based on what you know about Rust function arguments, how would you write the signature? Just the get line and the function definition for this route. In Rocket, path variables use brackets and query parameters. Question mark brackets. Before we do that, comma, what is the shape of the data so I can make the type struct? Rust is really cool so far, though. I am really liking it. I'm very curious. Like, I want to see like how the performance is. Well, it's hard to compare though because I was using Next.js, which is an Express backend, and the only reason I even had the backend was to hide a token for GitHub because I didn't want to expose my GitHub token. For the API, a little shape shifting. If you request a directory, it returns an array of items. If you request a file, it returns a single object with the content field. We need a struct that represents one single item, whether it's a file inside a folder list or the file itself. Looking at your repo content entry in TypeScript, here's the shape we need to match in Rust. All right. Hey, don't tell me it, bro. What the hell? You're supposed to be in guided learning mode, not just giving me the answers. Because this endpoint returns either a vec with GitHub content directory or GitHub content file, we have a tricky deserialization problem ahead of us in the route handler. Add that struct to source models rs. Since Rust is strict, we can't easily say return either a generic list or a specified object without an enum. For your specific use case, you want to handle both files and directories in the same route like your Express app. Should we split them? I was already thinking we should split them. We'll definitely split them. I don't know GitHub content. Let's see here. Oh, that's interesting. Type is a reserved keyword in Rust, so we have to rename it. Oh. Interesting. Okay. I was gonna say that. That's the only thing that doesn't look like what I've seen before. Otherwise, we just add the derive above it to allow the serialize and deserialize. And then I guess debug is just another thing that we're implementing for debugging, I guess. I don't know. With that said, this doesn't seem... Maybe it is right. I think it is right. Alright, so public name string path name SHA string SHA. What does SHA stand for? Size U64. Why is it a U64? Isn't there a smaller number we can use? I mean, maybe if it's just really big. Also, I don't think I need all this data. And why is this making it public? Especially when the one above here isn't public. That is a good question. And why is this mad now? Oh yeah, because of that. I didn't finish it. Okay. That's actually fine. What is, if it's already a public struct, right? So like the struct is public already. So what would this, is the public here like make it different like when I go to do the implement? I don't even think I'll have it. No, it won't have an implement, but I don't see any other reason. Function, the keyword pub makes any module, function, or data structure accessible from the inside of external modules. Pub keyword may also be used in a declaration to re-export an identifier from a namespace. I don't think we need the pub here. We're just gonna delete it and see what happens. You know, if it errors out later, have an idea as to why. It's URL. Also, I've been thinking about it. I might have to find an alternative to GitHub, just because I heard that there was something was up with them. So this is an option, either a string or an error. Or no, it's either a string or it's nothing, like null, essentially. And then maybe I can just say type now. No, I can't. Okay. Because I was wondering if I could just say type because it's not public anymore. Let me just go ahead and Surday rename. Type. Please type. Content type is a string. Content option, which is also a string or nothing. And then we have encoding and underscore links. Encoding. Option of GitHub which right now is undefined, so it'll be mad about that. Why is, oh, maybe because I don't have, not find attribute Surday in this scope. Surday is an attribute that can be used by the derive macros deserialize and serialize. You might be using a derive attribute. Let's try it. Let's just switch this to derive. Okay, it's not that. Do they like change it? Change CFG. Could that stand for like something? No, it's usually like config. Alright. Let's see here. Let's just Google it. How to rename a struct field in Rust. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Oh wait, but that's for serialization versus deserialization. But maybe, let's see here. So we have our Surday, and then read, but it doesn't even auto-populate anything, which means it doesn't like it. Deserialize this field from the given name or from its Rust name may be repeated to specify multiple possible names for the same field. And then you can skip serializing. That's kind of cool. let's try this alias. I think it's what we need. Nah, it's still fucking pissed. Let's make our GitHub links before we fucking forget. Oh, wait a minute. Duh. It's because I didn't add the macro above it. Because right now, yeah, no, that actually checks, I think. And then serialize, serialize. Yeah, see? Hell yeah. Alright, we'll have to see if alias is still like actually what we want, but yeah, that was so silly. Alright, now let's do this before we make the other one. Public struct GitHub links. And GitHub links has a self underscore link as a string, and it has a get, which is and it has HTML string as well. Okay. Now we have our types. Now we can go ahead and go here and say result. Oh wait, I can go here, wrap that in curly brackets, and then comma, GitHub link. Oh wait, no, we don't actually need GitHub links. We need repo contents. And we can add our semicolon back. Result is going to be JSON repo contents status. And then it's just mad because we haven't actually done it, like returned it yet. Okay. So now I need to, or what is it saying? Let's split them. Is that gonna change? Oh, that might change the struct. I might have just done all that for no reason, guys. We'll find out. But I think I need to import like path. No? From HTTP? Path. Okay, I don't know. We'll find out. It'll tell us. Alright. Yes. Since GitHub uses the same URL for both, we need a traffic cop struct that tells Rust, hey, try to parse this as a file. If that fails, try to parse as a directory. Do this with a Rust enum and a special Survey magic trick called untagged. Ooh, never heard of that. Alright, well, I already have this, Now we just have to add the traffic cop. So we'll first try to match it as a directory. How does it know directory and file? Where does that come from? Maybe those are just keywords. Why untagged? Normally enums expect JSON to say I am a file. GitHub doesn't do that. Untagged tells Serde, I don't care what it's named, just look at the JSON structure. If it looks like a list, it's a directory. If it looks like an object, it's a file. Okay, word. So let's go ahead and update our models. Honestly, I don't like how like the only, this is I think it's because it's compiled and that's why it doesn't matter. But like the TypeScript in my brain, putting this right here below this right here, this line actually, it like sets off alarm bells, but it works. It works. So I guess it doesn't matter. But we need to go ahead and add this one right here. And we're gonna go ahead and say drive, serialize. Why does this one also take in clone? Added clone for easier handling later. Let's leave it out for now. Worst comes to worst, we just added it in. I like to see the errors. And well, okay, so the reason why I'm doing it this way is I like to see the errors. I like to see like what actually happens when you leave stuff out like that and just know what like I need to go back on later, you know? I feel like it just makes for a better learning experience. But so there's our derive, and then we use the Serde untag. Just like that. That's very interesting. And then we have a public enum. So my first enum, guys. It's of response. Really? Okay. And the GitHub response can either be a directory, a vec, gets or of repo contents, and then a file, which can be GitHub content. Wait, what? Oh, it's either a vec of the GitHub content or it's just the GitHub content. Okay, that checks out. Add our commas. Okay, it's not mad. Where does this file come from though? That's what I'm wondering. Same thing with directory. I wonder if it's just like a tag. Like I don't think this has any real meaning. And the fact that it doesn't pop up like directory, keyword, you know? Alright. Boom. So let's why does it say untagged again? Normally enums expect JSON to say I am a file. GitHub doesn't do that. Untagged tells Serde, I don't care what it's named, just look at the JSON structure. It looks like a list, aka this vec right here. It's a directory, which checks out. If it looks like an object, it's a file. Okay. So we added those. Once you have that, we're ready to write the route, tanda dynamic paths, repo contents path. All right, cool. Let's do it. All right. So we have the slash repos, and we get the repo name. I don't know what else we need for this endpoint. There we go. All right. In Rocket, we define path parameters like, oh, true. Rocket might be different. It might actually not be these curly brackets because what I learned was Axum. Axum had the curly brackets, now that I think about it. But in Rocket, we define path parameters like that, query parameters like that, right in the attribute. Okay. Oh, that's where the path comes from. Okay, cool. That checks out, actually. Why would I? Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Okay. Where? Oh, it just automatically populates it in the function. All right. So we get at the repo, and then we also need the path. So path isn't a keyword, neither is repo. The only reason they are there is the only reason they are right here is because they are right here. Why is it mad about that though? Oh, unused parameter. Okay, cool. And then we have repo, which is a borrowed string. And then we have path, which is also a borrowed. Oh, it's an option string. It's an option because query parameters are optional, right? That checks out. String. What is the difference between the str and the string? If anyone knows, please let me know in the comments. All right, cool. Now we got that, and construct the full GitHub URL. My phone gets so many calls a day, guys. It's actually insane. Okay. Content source main.rs. What? Path is some. If path is not, it's just ending contents. Oh, I understand. Okay, cool. Let's get to it. I do think what I am gonna do here real quick though is split that, open up another terminal, and cd project tutorial hub server. What did I call it? I could have swore. Oh, this server. Okay. Let me just add a console log real quick. That's right here. All right. Console.log quote JSON data. And then save on body text. Okay, cool. And I should be able to just close out of that. Say npm run dev. And then now I can go to this one? Yes. Ooh, I might still have the routes. What are you running on? 4,000. Why is this? This is usually on the bottom. Hold on. I don't like it whenever. So what I'm doing right now is I'm simply, fuck, I forgot what the route even was. Is this it? I don't think it is. Oh, origin not allowed. I forgot about that. I set up cross origin not allowed. So I actually can only do it from the client, but that's fine. I wanted to see the shape of the data, but well, I mean, I guess I can just look at the URL. It's fine. Okay. Back to GitHub. I can close that. I can this real quick though, just to look at the path URL. Oh, why is it so like this? Okay, that's fine. Copy that, quit out of that. And we'll just go ahead and let request underscore L equal. Why is it so mad? And then just paste this for now. I think it's just I think it's like this. Or wait, before I do that, hold on. We have owner. Oh wait, no, it can't be that. Fuck, what was it, bro? I was just trying to be quick. I didn't want to look at the whole thing. Where is GitHub base URL defined? Of course I put it in an auth. Why wouldn't I do that? Oh, it's just api.github.com. Okay. Which means then that I don't need this part. Repos, owner, which is and then we have the repos. Content. Path is some. Path is none. Okay. So path does have something there. And it should end in content. Right. Like if it was source / min, it should end in content / source / min. Okay. I think we're cooking. Why are you so mad? Oh, return type. I mean, I guess I can, hold on. It would be a, okay. JSON. And, oh. We'll just do that for now. All right, so we have our request URL. Now we just have to go ahead and okay, so the print line takes in just like the curly brackets, and then the order you put in the arguments is the order it goes to the curly brackets. So I'm actually not 100% certain how to do this. I mean, I assume I could just dynamically like string push, like something like that. I might have to separate this out and like build it like a let's see here. Regardless, look at this real quick. I need to make a match for our path. Match path. Okay. Takes an callback. I mean, it's not really a callback, but oh wait, did I do it in the wrong spot? Does it go right here? Okay. Do that for now. And I think I can actually set a variable equal to this if I'm not mistaken. So it might actually be better to do something like this. And then, I mean, let me just remove that for now so it stops comparing. Okay. Now, if it's okay, you just go ahead and implied return. Let's see here. So, oh wait, no. This is wrong. Because this is an option, either has some or none, not okay in error. Some. None. What does it mean? Pattern has 0 field, but the corresponding tuple strike has 1 field. Oh wait, right, we have the data, if it is some, which is just the path. Let's not name it path though. I mean, I think I actually can make it. Yeah, I can name it path because it just scopes to this sum. It makes sense. And then I don't even need to check if path exists in this because Rust just coded like that. Because this is just saying that this is basically my if statement, the sum and none, you know? So now that path does exist, we would say, let's just copy this over for now. And then I wonder if I can do it like this. This might just be JavaScript for the brain, though, key. Hey, it seems to work so far. and that should return that automatically, right? Or do I need to do string and then like from? I might have to do that. Let me get rid of this real quick. We don't need that anymore. Oh yes, I do need that right there. That is correct. And then none, in the event that there is none, it means we're getting the entire repo. So in that case, it would just be like that. Use this syntax instead. None. Bro, what are we talking about? Undefined here. But what? What am I missing? No? Oh, it is mad about this. Okay, hold on. You know, my guess. Oh, wait a minute. That's working? And string. Wait, what are you though? Wait, why? I don't know why that actually. I was expecting that I would have to chain it, like string from and then dot like something and then dot like something, you know? Or I mean, I guess I actually need that. In that case, we just have to wrap this in string from unclosed delimiter. Oh, right. Mismatch types. Okay, it is still mad. Okay, yeah, it doesn't work like this. This is TypeScript to the brain. All right, let's try this again. Wait a minute. I wonder if I can just. Hold on. And then if I just said, repo? Nope. Okay, that doesn't work. String concatenation. Who would have thought? Alright. And then maybe let's try. What methods we got here? Split off. Insert maybe? I think insert would allow us. Oh wait, we want to push it? Oh wait, that pushes a character, so push string? I think it would be push string. Yeah. appends a given string slice onto the end of this string. Go W. Mechanics if the new capacity exceeds I size max bytes. Oh, okay. But with that said, I think now it's just repo. And again, just dot. Wait, can I not? I can't do another. I can't chain a push though. Let's try this. Let's try this. And then let's try that. Let's add that there. So now we push that onto the end, and then we have to do request URL dot push str. I don't think this will work. I think I'll have to do string from inside this, but we're gonna try it first. And then that would be slash content slash, and then finally request URL push string path. No? Try borrowing. Okay, I think that's working. And then with this, we basically would just, what did I just do? All right. Request URL dot push repo. Push string. Hell yeah. Expected tuple struct or tuple variant found none. What does this mean? Is it because it has a... It is. What? That's interesting. Okay, but now we built the string. So let's go ahead. And now we have to start building the requests. Of which, thankfully, I can kind of just mock this for the most part. So that should be a lot quicker. So let client will all right. Let client equal request colon client new, and let response full client, and then let's start chaining. Get at the request URL dot header, and let's go ahead and say quote as agent, so GitHub is happy. All right, and now we dot send, and then we have to await it to actually send the request. And then now we need to map. Yes, map error. Right? Why are you so upsetting? Hold on. There we go. So now we need to map the error. And in this case is type underscore type. Again, I'm not sure what that does. If anybody knows, please let me know. And then is bad gateway like a 404? That's essentially what I need to return right now. Yeah, I think bad gateway is the correct one. I mean, I could also do bad requests as well, I guess. We'll just leave it as is. Okay, so now that we've mapped the error, I need to add the question mark. And the question mark, from my understanding, is basically a dot unwrap. No, wait. No. Yes, I'm not sure. All right. Okay, so now we've mapped the error. So now we have to .json it, which is essentially telling it to serialize what we get back as a repo contents. Oh, wait a minute, but it won't always be repo contents, will it? This is where we get into the tricky thing. Because of the enum that we made here in models. Oh, I hate that. Okay, well, because of the enum that we made here for GitHub response, so it's actually going to be this. Yeah. So with that said, how is that even unused import? I'm literally using it right here. Anyways, we don't actually need it. GitHub response. GitHub response. How is this unused, bro? That don't make no sense. Maybe because I guess I'm not technically like actually using it yet. Anyways. GitHub response. Say I'm using it now? No. That's weird. Oh wait, I forgot to add the colons, that's why. And then I just need to say dot await again because that's also asynchronous. And then in case that await errors out, we need to dot map error. I mean, again, this is pipe underscore pipe status. And then if the JSON fails, just an internal server error. Okay. We'll have extra. All right. Response. And that should be good. Expected enum, GitHub response, found result, GitHub response, status. Right. Why did you expect GitHub response when right here I say that it's resolved? Oh, because I'm not unwrapping it with the error. Hold up, that makes more sense. Okay, now it's mad that we're mutating it. I was actually kind of expecting that, but I thought it was okay because maybe so like you know how like with like an array, you know, you can add stuff to an array and like change like the array's value in JavaScript without it actually like changing, like I don't know. Maybe I was whatever. This is fine though. We can just simply mutate it. Let mutate. Yes. All right, now we just have to mount this. Wait, I might not even have to mount it. But yeah, I do. I gotta do it here. Oh wait, no. It's not there either. It's here. API, GitHub, Git repo contents. Boom. All right, now, any luck, I should be able to go ahead and say cargo run, and it does run. All right, cool. Now let's go to localhost 8000. It works there, and then now if I go to slash, what was it? API slash repos slash i3 dash scripts. That's just one of the repos I have. Slash content 500 server error. Okay. And now what if I say Alibar? Let's see here. Let's just use this. Hold on, I confused myself slightly. So if we look here, right, so it's called path, so I'd have to say path equals something. Okay, this is right then. So API, not GitHub. turn that to 8,000. API repos, i3 scripts. Let's try it. 404. The requested resource could not be found. Interesting. It says a resource, not okay. Let me go to my GitHub. Repositories. i3 scripts. Okay. So this should be path. Interesting. Now why is this not working? So is it hitting? Yes. So get API slash repos i3 dash scripts slash, oh wait, why is it saying file? Ooh, now we got a 500 internal server error. Okay. You know, I was thinking earlier, I wish it was a little more verbose than just internal server error. And I think I know how to fix that. But in any case, why? So an internal server error right here. Otherwise it would say bad gateway. So something's going wrong with the JSON? And unfortunately, because that's all chained together, I can't like print it either. Let's see here. Right, I need a semicolon. Format string. Oh. So hold on. Right here. On hashtag question mark? Is that what it says? Oh, I don't have debug. Hold on. Okay, that's what the debug was for then later. That checks out. Bug. Okay, and because of that, I need to make these have debug as well. And GitHub links also needs debug. Okay. Why didn't it print the line? Oh, because when an error happens, it automatically does it. It automatically returns it, so it's not actually getting to that line. Right. So how would I make this more verbose? Chat. There's no one here. Alright, I'm on my own. I guess? Why is it this? Let's see what Gemini has to say. Okay, I made the route, but it is turning a 500 server error when I try to test it out. Maybe Gemini knows what's up. Let's go ahead and remove this print line. And let's see what Gemini knows. Let's see. Not too sure. Lost in translation moment. Yeah, and I mean, I figured that. Oh. Okay, so that 404 that I saw earlier was kind of like a red herring. I thought I was seeing the 404 from GitHub, but I was seeing a 404 from Rocket not finding the route. That checks out. Code ignores status code, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this checks out. This makes sense actually. So we do that right after the bad. And then let me do this first though. And this will turn to body. And now if in response dot status dot is success. And the bang is just, I'm assuming, the same as JavaScript, or it just flips it. We are gonna print a line. Response.text.await. Okay. Whoa. Not what I wanted. it gonna tell me? So if it doesn't implement, so doesn't have display trait. So I guess that's what this that is for. But that says in format string. Is this a format string? I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess it is. Response move due to this method called move occurs. Not implement the copy trait. Okay, so it can't be copied. I guess we wouldn't even know like what it is. We don't know if it's a not found or not. Because this will just trigger if it's not a 200. Regardless, I mean, I don't know. It's fine for now. Okay. And interestingly enough, when I add this return error, response thing goes away. Unless that was just like a weird save behavior. But alright, let's test this out. Not found. Do I have a what? Oh, this is just telling me the documentation. Let's read it. It's the contents of a file or directory in a repository. Specify the file path or directory with the path parameter. If you omit the path parameter, you will receive the contents of the repository's root directory. Okay. So simple response. Why can I not like scroll down on this fucking tab right here? That's really annoying. Owner repo content path. Let's just double check that it's right. HTTPS repos, and then we have the owner. And then we need to have the repo again. This is like the actual repo. And we have content. Content. And then it can end in path. There. Otherwise, yeah, this checks out. So I think we're building the URL right, which means that maybe I'm just not hitting it right. So let's, okay, API slash repos slash I dash scripts slash content. APIs, repos. I think maybe my enum is wrong. Is there a way I can just like, because the JSON is failing, which means it's failing to put it into either. So let's think about this. I think vector is right. Like that's just an array. I thought this seems correct. It's just got to be returning something different, and I need to be able to see the shape of the data. I don't know if I can see the shape of the data. I guess. I mean, there's this right here, but for some reason it won't let me scroll down. Oh, there we go. Okay. Title. Oh, what? One of. Bro, I'm so. I don't even know, man. see. Let's try just hitting this like our own. And then so we have to go to repos owner slash I dash scripts content. So yeah, testing it out with no path, bro, like it should work. Right, no path. Maybe it's this user agent. Maybe it's like passing it on or something. I don't know. But API repos i3 scripts contents. API repos i3 scripts. i3 scripts. Contents. Contents. Oh wait, I don't add the contents, bro. Oh wait, yeah, I do though. Oh no, I was keep second, my bad. Basically, it returns an array of objects, right? So that does make it a directory. Oh wait, but if it's a directory, wait a minute. No, not what I was thinking. You already tell it's the GitHub response. GitHub response can be serialized and deserialized. Let's see if Gemini knows what's up. So just to be clear, this one, oh wait, no, that's my one. So that doesn't work. 500 internal server error. Am I missing my question mark? No, I have it. Need to be like a slash question mark or something? No, I feel like it would have told me right here. Let's see here. So on the event that path is none, meaning we're not doing it, we're slapping the repo that they give us right there. And then we're putting contents on the end of that. So let's just go ahead and print line. let's try that. Let's see if this is even, just make sure everything is working how we expect it to. So it does go to, so now what if I open this in my browser? Would you look at that? Everything is there. Meaning we're hitting the right route. So something is wrong here. So what could it possibly be? With this JSON body? What is this? I think this. No, that's right. Name, path, jaw size. Yeah, that's accurate. And then the vector, just throwable array type, or for vector. Yeah. So maybe there's something wrong with the untag. Something, it's got to be like this line somewhere. Whenever it can't be deserialized to the target type T. Hmm. Oh, it's just an array. All right, let's give Gemini like a little bug report. Okay, so it's correct endpoint getting data back, comma. So, it's JSON. I don't even know, bro. Let me use that. Let's just, something is wrong with this snippet right here. And do that so it doesn't get confused. Something here is off. Not sure what. Maybe I need to add switch to order these. Yo, what? Look at that. So the underscore is a placeholder or just like a variable that you're not going to use, right? Or like a parameter, I guess. And so I guess this is like a different kind of function. Like look at that. It takes in like the curly brackets, and then you can print the line, and then yo, what? I wouldn't have guessed that. Regardless, which is there. So, question mark. Semicolon. All right. Data did not match any variant of the tagged enum get response. Okay. I might have missed an option wrapper on a field that isn't always present. Okay, maybe. Let's say little brown. Or I can just wait. Control C. Let's see what it cooks up for us. Did not mean. Yeah, I don't know what self-link is. Set. You know what? Hold on. I can just go off of this right here. Name, path, SHA, size, URL, HTML URL, get URL, download URL. Then we have type, which is right here. And then after that, there is no content. Content is an option. Oh wait, Yeah, I have it as an option though. Okay, and then let's look at GitHub links. We have self git HTML. Huh? Oh, I need to do the alias again. Sysolve. Okay. I mean, I wonder if that was it. Self get HTML. It doesn't. Is it really? I mean, it's strict. So that could have been it. Test it. Let's go! Oh, hell yes. Alright, alright. Let's test it with a path parameter. And then
How'd you like
question
it?
mark
Actually, that's a preview of Lolita Holloway's new
path
single out of her brand new
equals
Goldmine album. It's called Catch Me If You Can.
I think that's terrific. So do I.
let's go with license for
You
now.
should be modest about it. You got a great set of pipes
I
there,
like it
Lolita.
because I think I
Make
got
sure I spell it right.
some very nice producers and writers that helped me with it.
Hells yeah.
Right.
Look at that. We get back just our
Cut
license,
all of this at
content.
Jackson anyway, didn't you?
Right.
Jackson, you're from Chicago.
Right. That's my home.
Yeah, well, I can tell you
Sick.
this, when you start to wear, you might as well be in
So
Chicago
now
for
let's
50
go
years.
ahead
Even
and
without the onions.
try.
Who is this young lady next to you?
She's one of my backup artists.
Where are the directories at?
Where are you from, Madeline?
Chicago.
How do you like it in the evening?
It's okay.
Oh, sounds thrilled about the whole thing. Of course, this was one of your gold mine albums.
Right.
Hit and run.
Why are none of these my directories?
Disco Fox played that
Workspaces.
like it fell off the floor.
Oh wait, Polybar. Polybar is a directory,
Stopping by
right? Type dir.
I wondered
Yeah.
if the voice that produced this great sound.
Ooh. Now that it says that though.
Stop by
Oh wait, but I don't say.
Hollow.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's only this word or this word. I'm just saying it's a string. So that's actually fine. So now if I do path equals polybar, look at that. I get back my polybar. Yep, all the stuff inside polybar. Hell yeah, this is so rewarding. And then if I want to get a file's content inside polybar, polybar slash minimal underscore so, and would you look at that? Hell yeah, guys. Warning. Oh yeah, forgot to use code. It's fine. Sweet. Well, this is absolutely so hype. Tutorial Hub is definitely moving slow since I'm trying to actually like learn everything. I'm not trying to get it done, you know. But if you made it to this point in the video, feel free to smash that like button if you liked it. Consider dropping me a subscriber. On a side note, I did get my first subscriber. So shout out them. I don't even know who it is. I couldn't figure out how to check, but I got my first subscriber. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. If I don't catch you again later, take care, y'all. Let me go ahead and end the stream. All right, guys. Have a good